Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. It is Wednesday. This is last couple of days of February. Todd is back. He is back after
Right back up under the lights.
And Alana, she's somewhere on Bourbon Street or somewhere in New Orleans doing Mardi Gras stuff. So
She is.
hopefully we don't see no photos on the internet of her.
Going wild.
Yeah. Keep it classy, Alana. Keep it classy. All right. Welcome to the show that doesn't think asking a 7-year-old to remind you to take him to school is too much responsibility because apparently, geez.
We were raised with more responsibility. So
We was raised differently.
yeah, that too.
And
Harder.
I've learned that from some of these conversations I've had. I was raised completely differently than a lot of folks.
Agreed.
But that's a subject for another day. Yeah, we're going to start the show off with, we usually have the rundown, but actually we're going to go a little bit off the rundown right now because there's some breaking news in the NBA. So Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets has been suspended indefinitely for violating the NBA's anti-drug program. This was announced at some point, probably 10, 15 minutes ago.
Oh, it's fresh.
Yeah, this is fresh. This is fresh. You're getting breaking news on After the Whistle. And wow, this is like the third player that's been suspended for a bit. Because I remember DeAndre Ayton, John Collins, they got 25 games, but for anti-drug programs. Oh, this is interesting. Seeing this more and more in the NBA.
Yeah, we don't really know what he actually did. When you told me, I thought he was on lean or Percocet or something. Because I don't think marijuana is on that list anymore, or as drastic as it used to be in the league.
Yeah.
Or hopefully he's not on no steroids, but you said the anti-drug policy is probably actual.
Yeah, so maybe it's, one of those cases you put one of them supplements you're not supposed to put in, but geez, these guys, they need to start reading these.
Now, question though, when with the Collins, was it anti-drug or was it just a banned substance?
It might have been the banned substance.
Oh, all right, so yeah.
Him and Ayton, it might have been.
So Monk might just have some fun.
He might. When you're doing all that losing, you need to do something to, to get you away from all that losing. But my goodness, man, he ain't getting paid. He's suspended without pay too. Well, this is just interesting now that we're seeing this more and more in the NBA because we're used to seeing it in NFL, baseball, but NBA used to be like here and there. But now, you got 3 players this season it's happened to.
Well, we live in this crazy world where, granted, when we were younger, drugs was exposed, but now it's way bigger than when we were younger. Yeah. So it's kind of like a way of life nowadays, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah. So
and for him playing, for the Hornets, bro, Jordan's one of the people when he feels you guys should play 82 games. He probably feels you shouldn't be doing any substances during the season. He probably don't care what you do in the off season, but when you're getting paid to play the game, just put your best foot forward and be the best professional you can be.
Yeah, it's people gotta be a lot smarter. So Malik Monk, you're gonna get this. Come on now, do better. All right, other NBA news: Mike Conley, he's being moved to the bench. Things aren't going as planned, with all the hype that Utah had with his signing. So they're going to move him to the bench, and Royce O'Neal will be taking his place, which is, good. That's a good. I don't blame the Jazz for doing it. Maybe Royce O'Neal adds a little more offensively and defensively. So this might be good for Conley coming off the bench because we've seen great players moved to the bench, and, Jamal Crawford, he moved to the bench. He became one of the best 6-man all. Lou Williams.
Yeah, some people just need to see the game. Just see, their mismatches, when they're gonna find their spots, open jumpers and things like that. And let's be honest, I told you before the show, I blame the NBA for doing this to Conley. They paid him all that money. He was the highest paid in the NBA. They put him on a pedestal where his skills don't match up. I'm not saying he's a good player, but he's not as elite as the money he was getting, which, hey, kudos if you're getting your bread. Yeah. But the back end of that is you got to produce at the amount you're getting paid.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm just waiting for somebody to overpay me for something, underqualified for. So, but Royce O'Neal, he adds, six. He was averaging 6 points off the bench in 28 minutes, 5 rebounds, and I think it's just a different style for them. So, we'll see how this works. But right now, the Jazz, the Jazz right now, they're not a bad basketball team. They're decent. You know, the West is just crazy. So, but the Jazz right now, I'm looking that up right now. The Jazz right now are 5th in the West. They're actually tied with OKC at 36 wins. So, you know, they still got a shot. If they could string together some wins, they still got a shot at the number 3 spot. So, you know, they just got to string wins together.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest. Utah's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch, and there's not a lot of things happening in Utah that strikes interest. And just for the fans, that there's an All-Star game in Utah in a few years. So, woo, yeah. Yeah, that was my reaction. All right, that's the breaking NBA news that's happening. If any more stuff happens, I'll let you know. So, let's talk some more about the NBA. And on Monday, the Kobe Bryant's memorial service was happening. It was, you know, it was good. It was a nice service that was put together. A lot of speeches. I think Michael Jordan kind of. You know, Michael Jordan, he won the day with his speech, and I didn't watch the Vanessa Bryant speech because I just can't watch somebody that's, you know, that I think should just be grieving in private, just put herself out there in front of all those people, and it's hard for me to watch that.
I'll be honest, I watched it. She kept herself together. You know what I mean? She had some time to grieve, but it's just one of them things I felt she shouldn't have been up there as well. His parents didn't speak, which I wasn't feeling that. I don't know if that was her decision because I know they didn't go to his wedding and whatnot, but who cares what any of that? With man's in the ground, allow everybody who loved him to help him be him speak.
Yeah, and there was tributes, Alicia Keys playing a song that Kobe learned through ear. It was like Beethoven or something like that, some Beethoven song. Beyonce with the song, and then I mean Jordan, Mike, he gave us another crying meme, and he made a little joke about it, which I thought was pretty cool because it kind of lightened the mood, and it was just like it was one of those things that shows you why people will always argue that Michael Jordan's the greatest ever because of moments like that and how he just took over and made everybody feel a little more, you know, relaxed and stuff.
But, you know, it was good for Jordan to get out there because a lot of people don't think he's for us or for the people.
Yeah.
But it's like seeing Bigfoot or something. He's never really out. He never really speaks on camera. He never really does too much. So when he does step out and speaks that much and is emotional about it, you actually he helps you. He reminds us that Jordan's human.
Yeah,
that Jordan's a regular person.
Because when he got up there, the tears just started before he even started his speech. Because the tears just started flowing. He couldn't contain himself and just talking about all the memories of him and Kobe. Kobe always calling him at like 2 a.m. and all this other stuff. So that was good to see. And then Shaq talking about their time together and all that. It was a great ceremony.
I'll be honest, bro. I'm just happy that it's over.
Yeah.
Because I don't like when they drag stuff out. And I feel like they was dragging this out. Granted, do you know if he was...
Yeah, he was buried like 2 weeks ago.
He was actually buried?
Yeah, he was already buried.
Oh, all right. See, I didn't know. I thought they would have cremated him because of how the crash happened. But I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, it was like the burial was like a private ceremony that they'd had.
All right.
So...
And it's like they kind of did the service weeks ago when they had... Usher up there, doing
the game.
All that, and that's what I mean. Don't try to squeeze all the juices out of this.
Yeah, and also it was crazy, and also to have, because there was still NBA games that evening, so a lot of players that had games that day were there too, and I'm just thinking this is a lot the NBA is asking of those players because granted, especially when. You know, the period when he passed away, it was so much happening, and you're trying to have these guys play games, and you could tell a lot of them weren't mentally there, and you know they were asked a lot in these past few weeks. A lot was asked of these NBA players, and you know they all handled themselves well, but it was just nobody should be doing that.
Now, one thing I wish they would. Granted, I know they planned it for 2/24 and all that, but it probably would have made more sense if they would have had this. After All-Star Weekend, like the next day, just because like everybody's still around each other, compared to like people having to catch flights and get here, maybe might not play the next game or DMPs and stuff because they might be at the service and things like that.
Yeah, So I mean, beautiful. It was a great service. So now I'll get back to now we all have to get back to reality. Rest in peace, Kobe. But all right, so in reality, the Celtics, they were on the West Coast. They're having themselves a little nice West Coast trip, especially Jason Tatum.
Oh yeah,
this guy, he's ascending. He is ascending, and he's showing us that he's figured out a lot.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We put too much pressure on some of these young players. I get it. Most of the high draft picks, they're basically Hall of Famers most of the time, and you got to give some players some time to figure it out. I always told you I wouldn't trade Tatum for anybody.
Same.
And he's showing you why we believe that.
Yeah.
And then talking about last year when he trained with Kobe over the summer and his game took a step back. That's because he was still figuring it out.
Yeah.
And this year he figured it out.
Yeah, he definitely figured it out, and it also helped that he gets the ball. He gets the ball a lot more in areas that he's comfortable with. But I'm looking at him and Jaylen Brown, and I'm just saying, I've always said this: playing for the U.S. national team, that does something. It does something because we've seen it. Derrick Rose, MVP after he played for the USA team. Stephen Clay, MVPs and championships after they played for the U.S. team. Russ and James Harden boosted up their scoring after playing for the USA team. So, we got Devin Booker and De'Aaron Fox not wanting to play for the USA team, and talking about they want to train for the NBA season, but that was the best training they could have. And we see what kind of season their respective teams are having, and then you see how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, how they've elevated. I mean, Jaylen Brown could probably be most improved player of the year this year. So I think a lot of players, when they are asked to play for Team USA, they should, because it elevates their games.
For one, you're around some of the best coaches you'll ever be around at a professional level. Pop, Coach K, a bunch of other people. My guy from Syracuse, Boeheim, like all these coaches, even if they're not on the staff, they're around still. And then still shopping still, or iron shopping's iron, whatever quote you want to say.
Yep.
Only way to get better is to play against better competition.
Yep.
And that's how they improved. That's how they got better.
Yeah, especially because you're playing against a lot of those international teams. A lot of those teams, they've been playing together for probably like 6-7 years. So it helps to play experienced players. And the Celtics are making waves. But I mean, look at. But we talked about this before the season started. The 4 guys that needed to be big contributors are doing it. We got Tatum leading the team with scoring at 23, Kemba 21, Jaylen 20, Gordon Hayward 17, and then Marcus Smart, he's averaging 12. Gordon Hayward gets a lot of criticism. I don't understand why, because the guy, he's filling his role on this team because he's fully healthy and he's playing the role that he's asked to and doing a very good job at it.
He's playing with some players. It's not like he's the only guy on a small market team. You're in a bigger market now. Yeah. Better players. You're doing pretty well. Yeah, we all would like you to average 20, 25 a game like you was doing out in Utah, but this ain't Utah.
Right.
This is legendary Boston Celtic country.
Yeah, and 17 points is not bad for a third or fourth option.
Not at all.
So his critics are weird. But Celtics right now, they're 2-1 on this West Coast trip. They wrap it up tonight against Utah, and Jaylen Brown became the second Celtics since Larry Bird to average 36 on like 60% shooting in a 2-game span. And,
that's dope. Yo, I'm happy for him. He's having a great season. I hope he has the same season next season so he can have an All-Star game.
Yeah, maybe he'll go to the Olympics and What are we talking about, Jaylen or Jason?
Oh, you did say Jaylen.
Oh, I meant Jason.
Oh, well, well. Whatever.
My bad. All right. Former Celtic Kyrie Irving, he is done for the season. He had season-ending shoulder surgery on his right shoulder. That is his shooting shoulder. And, yeah, I've been saying this. I don't know how long Kyrie's going to last, because this is the second time in 3 years that he's had season-ending surgery to somewhere on his body. I mean, for the knee, now the shoulder. I mean, all the important parts all the important body parts for a basketball player.
Yeah. Well, he was jacking a lot of shots early in the season. That might also contribute to his shoulder issue. He might, create more for his teammates. Be overall better team. And I also think with him, I always said it before, I feel like a lot of these guys wear too much too much equipment. Now you can say like the spandex and knee pads. You don't even allow your knees to really bend fully when you get all that stuff on it. So I think that contributes to some of these guys' injuries personally.
Yeah, it's just it's just plagued this guy since college. I mean, you get to Duke, you play 10 games, and then boom, you're done for the season with your toe.
But some people are just naturally injury prone. Some people are just naturally injury prone.
Yeah, I don't know what he got to do to stay healthy, because I don't think I believe he's never played a full season before in his career, because even in those early Cleveland years, he would miss a significant amount of time due to injuries. So it's just.
But they talk about this new NBA now too. Like a lot of guys don't fight through injury anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some guys just say, "Oh, you're injured, sit down." I'll take the 2 game off. So fight through something. Show that.
And also, there was an article that was out. It's somewhere on the internet. This guy, he was talking about how AAU is probably one of the causes for these players when they get to the league, their bodies are breaking down because they're playing so many AAU games. But by the time they get to college and stuff, they've played a significant amount of basketball games, like more than what they used to play back in the day. So this is one of the leading things that causing players to get injured.
And too, back in the day, players were bigger. Like they say he's bigger, stronger, faster today. No, I mean like physically, like these guys back in the day were grown men when they were getting into the league, coming out the draft. Granted, they stayed a couple years longer in college than these guys do now, but they were just naturally just stronger people.
Yeah, because some of these dudes when they came out of college, it was like they were already like 23 or 24, and it's like, oh, these guys are grown men. These are full adults now.
It's crazy. I was just watching that the city basketball thing on NBA TV. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? New York, Chicago.
Yeah.
See Dennis Scott in high school?
Yeah.
He's like a bouncer. Little old boys he was playing with. He had no business playing with them. Like, he's LeBron, full LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. All right, so I'm looking at Kyrie's game totals since his rookie year. So his rookie year, 51 games. Second year, 59. Third year, 71. Fourth year, 75. 53, 72, 60, 67, 20.
I haven't heard 82 one time.
Yo, I mean, the most is 75, and that was year number 4. But
yeah, you got to at least you got to be an Iron Man at least 1 year. Yeah. 1 year of your career.
Yeah, so I mean, best of luck. You're in the Celtic no more, so I mean, I can tell you to kick rocks, but I still like you as a player. All right. So last night the Raptors and the Bucks faced off in the Eastern Conference rematch. It was a pretty good game, and I said it that the Bucks are running away with the East, the number 1 seed in the East right now, but I've already said nobody's invincible in the East, and the Bucks, there's still some flaws with that team. There's still some flaws with Giannis. Like, you can still put a wall around him and shut him down and make those other guys beat you. But overall, this was a good basketball game. I think Toronto, people thought they were going to fall off, but they've been having a great season. But they've had great seasons before, regular season. It was just when the playoff comes, they didn't have that guy, and when they got that guy, we saw what happened.
Yeah, what they say in the regular season. The Raptors are actually a dinosaur, and the playoff turned to Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again. But, the Bucks, man, 4 out of their 5 starters in double digits. It looked like Giannis was having a bad game until you see the box score. He had 19 and 19.
Yeah, and 8 assists as well. It's like
crazy.
He's literally run. I think he's already capped off the MVP. He's probably already got that sealed away. I mean, LeBron's like a hedge behind him, but for LeBron to win, Giannis has to completely fall off, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. And the Bucks, they just got size. They got length everywhere, but I think the issue is with Brook Lopez always shooting threes, and I don't know if Eric Bledsoe's that dude, because he's gonna have to make big plays in the stretch in the playoffs. And last year he had a lot of opportunities and didn't capitalize.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is the biggest issue with the Bucks is their bigs and their point guard play. But I like Van Vliet for the Raptors. I like Van Vliet, man. And Siakam's balling, but Van Vliet, I like him. Yeah, I don't know what Lowry was doing.
I never know what. Yeah, Lowry is just like, he's one of those guys. It's either you're gonna get either a great game or you're going to get a very horrible game like that one. So Kyle Lowry is one of those guys. He's that type of player. But I don't know. For the Raptors in the playoffs, I think they have to – because I think they rely on the backcourt too much. I think they need to rely more on their front court because they – Siakam, I mean, he's elevated himself.
Yeah, he is.
And also their bench. I don't they're gonna need their bench. Their bench was key in the postseason last year. But
I mean, when you got no Kawhi, I don't really see them doing much, man. They look good in the regular season, but playoffs time, when you start planning for teams, strategizing and all that, they don't have a real killer on their team except for Siakam.
Yeah, and Siakam, he doesn't really get his own shot. He can't create for himself. He's still learning how to do that. So it's gonna be playoff times. It comes down to, especially in the fourth quarter, it comes down to somebody who can create their own shot. And both of these teams don't have that. I don't think so.
I mean, Eric Bledsoe can create a little bit compared to some of the guys on the Raptors, but overall, he's gonna give it to Giannis, man.
Yeah. So, So the Bucks right now are 50-8. They've already clinched the playoff spot. So they're I think they're aiming for that 70 win, and we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. All right. Bradley Beal made a little history. He became the second player since Kobe Bryant to have back-to-back 50-point games, but man, they just keep losing.
Yeah, he had 108 points in 2 games and 2 L's.
Yeah.
Well, for one, let's be honest now. He only had 7 assists in 2 games. So you might, sometimes less is more. You might want to get 40-something, and get you 7, 8 assists.
Yeah, and also you need seize the opportunity. You foul Giannis out. You guys got to win that game. You guys have to win that game. That's great opportunity, and they just let it slip away. They just, they showed down the stretch in overtime why they're 20-36 because they just undisciplined and they don't have anybody else that can actually get buckets.
You're right though. You're right, but they got the young rookie. You know what I mean? He's solid.
The Japanese dude.
Was it Hachimura or something like that?
Yeah, Hachimura.
So it's a bad team waiting for their point guard to come back.
Yeah, I'm looking at this 33. Bradley Beal had 33 shots. The next highest was 17. Shabazz Napier, and this is him coming off the bench.
Now you see my point?
Yeah.
There's no reason why, he shouldn't. 25 shots is pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm looking at, I didn't know Ian Mahinmi was still in the league, and the Raptors just need to, I said the Raptors, the Wizards, they just need to figure, they need to figure it out, and they might have to make some moves because I think John Wall's going to come back, and he's still under that crazy contract. So, and we've already seen that him and Beal are just great talents, but they don't work. They don't work. So I don't. Yeah, whatever, Washington. All right. The Sixers, Ben Simmons, he's out for a little while. He hurt his back Saturday against the Bucks, and and then the next day, the next game without him, Joel Embiid puts up 49 points. But this is a significant loss for the Sixers because he's their only playmaker.
Yeah, man. He's going to have to figure out a way to understand how to shoot jump shots because he's doing too much going to the basket. You know what I mean? He's too physically demanding. You're getting hit every time you go with the cup. Obviously, he's 6'10". Your back's probably going to be an issue at some point.
Yeah. Especially because he's a physical player, too.
Yeah, and he's tall, mad tall.
Yeah, he I don't. Yeah, that's one of the questions. I don't understand why he still refuses to shoot. He just won't shoot. He won't even attempt to shoot, and that, as a basketball player, that's kind of embarrassing.
And it's all about making the game easier, not for yourself, for your teammates. Spacing the floor.
Yeah, and if he can it's not rocket science, but yeah, if he can consistently make jump shots, he already has the playmaking ability. He could create for everybody. He starts making a jump shot, then it's okay, these guys can't back off me. Majority of the time, he's gonna have probably a 6'3", 6'4" per guard guarding him. So it's crazy. And then the mix with him, Joel Embiid, it's clogging up the lane. There's no space, and there's no space down there for Embiid to work.
And he'd always be a matchup problem if he understood he could shoot over any guard covering him, and you could take him in the post.
Yeah.
Put him in the basket. Yeah. But it's just like he's just doing too much. Yeah. He got to just make the game easy for himself.
Yeah, because him and Embiid could, if they could go down as one of the greatest duo, if that actually would happen, because there's not many centers like Embiid, but he also needs to, get it together too, because his conditioning's always a question. He always looks like he's out of shape, and he's always looks like he's hurt. But drops 49 points in the game after. It's like, bro, you're not consistent at all this year.
You know what they say? Where'd he drop them points at?
I forgot it.
At home.
Oh yeah.
They do well at home all the time. I feel like sometimes they come off like front runners. Like,
actually, they are front runners.
All right, well, so he's all that smiling and dancing and stuff. I liked when he crossed over and shot the 3 for the 49, but it's like, why don't you do that against, when you're losing, when you're down? Why don't you compete to come back?
Yeah, and there's no way a team that's looked at to be a title contender should be 9-20 on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
That is terrible. 9-20, that's horrible. You're a first round bye. That's a first round exit. The way they've been playing on the road, and it's baffling.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, Sixers, y'all get that. And also, here's a little nugget. So the two guys the two former Celtics, Kyrie and Al Horford, they leave. Look how there's no problems in Boston. Al Horford, there's problems in Philadelphia. They moved him to the bench. Then he talked about this team is not together and some, friction there. You got Kyrie talking about we need some more pieces and these guys aren't. Remember when he said that? And it's like, all right, but it looks like Boston was smart.
Because sometimes you need a team full of teammates, and then you can have a team with a couple just prima donnas or stars on it.
Yeah.
And it works for that organization. But Celtics organization, yeah, we've had stars, but we've never been like a star-ran team.
Yeah.
We've always been just a great organization with great players and an overall great team. And that's our culture. So, like, them other coaches, take that somewhere else.
Yeah. Kick rocks.
And it's kind of like karma, because the way Horford left, kind of on that slimy snake stuff, so he kind of got what he deserved to a certain extent.
That's I'm being nice today.
And I liked Al Horford with us. I felt like I'd never seen him miss a three. Granted, I'm sure he missed threes, but that man was money with us, and I don't know what happened.
I was not a fan of his signing, and I was not a fan of Al Horford. All right.
He helped me understand why he was in the league when he came with Boston. I was able to see now why he was in the league.
And he helped me understand why his behind should have stayed in Atlanta. The Los Angeles Clippers are back at full strength. They had a nice victory over the Memphis Grizzlies the other night, but I put this up just to look at the bigger picture, because this team at full strength, just looking at them and their pickup, they signed Reggie Jackson.
How did they let that happen?
Detroit bought him out, and he got picked up by him. So that's a guy that's 15 points per game scorer coming off the bench, and you add that with Lou Williams, Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, and Marcus Morris.
I don't see Silver vetoing that. How do you let Reggie Jackson go with the Clippers, bro? Like, you don't see that team already? Oh my goodness, he's in cahoots with them, man. He wants them to get a chip in a year or two, man. That's ridiculous. Like, come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but they made these additions, and now they're getting their guys back healthy. So this is gonna be a tough team, but right now they're like third in the West right now. But I think they don't really, the way they play it, I don't think they care where they're seated in the postseason.
Nah, because you got players that don't even play the whole 82 games. They got night, They don't play back to backs. Kawhi, so it's like he knows they might go 1-2 every other week. You know what I mean? If he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So they're not worried about that. They know playoff time comes, they're gonna produce. And last night they had 13 more assists than the Grizzlies. So it just shows they're overall better team when they're all together.
Yeah, and then defensively too, I think they probably got the best wing defense, the best wing defenders out there, because it's going to be hard for a lot of people to score on those guys, especially when it comes down, because they could switch everything, especially at top. And, Harold, he's solid. He was
balling. And for Paul George to have a bad game last night in 5 plays in double figures, like, you can't relax on any player.
Yeah. Yeah, so these guys are very they're going to be tough, because everybody's just waiting for the collision with them and the Lakers, but it seems like they made more of an effort to improve their roster, and the Lakers were I think they were just satisfied with what they have. Granted, they picked up Markieff Morris to come off the bench, but I'm just like, okay, but there were guys out there that they could have picked up and they chose not to. That could have added to their roster, because there's still something missing with the Lakers. I mean, even though the officials gave them that game against the Celtics on Sunday with some of those calls, but they got that on their side.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that Tatum call was kind of crazy to me.
The offensive foul?
Yeah, that's a play on, like.
Right. I mean, he missed the shot, but the fact that you even called it, like, what?
Then it's like, you see how much time was on the clock, bro. They don't call that foul and that much time on the clock.
I know, right? Yeah, those officials were out of control. They were, yeah. And then the replay. I hate replay. I hate replay with a passion, and once again, replay took over, and it was like, bruh, come on. I just missed the days where they just made the mistakes and we just could all argue about it and then leave it at that.
Like, they have to get it right now. Like, yeah. And part of being a ref is human error.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a great ref, when you have less errors than good calls.
Right. Just get it right. And if you get it wrong, that's fine. We'll just argue about it and complain until the next game. So
you won't even know your name, referee, so don't even matter.
I hate it. But, yeah, the Clippers, they're doing well. Another team that's been a surprise this season has been the Thunder, OKC Thunder, and what they've been doing. I mean, Chris Paul's really showing why he's a natural leader, the way he's got these young guys playing. They had a big one against Chicago the other day, but everybody is shocked that they're in the position they are right now as a number 6 seed in the postseason, and the way they've been playing well.
I'm not a huge Chris Paul fan, but I definitely respect his game. But you got some players who need to control the ball and put their teammates in the best spots for them to be productive, which he does. And there's other teams where you don't need your point guard to pound it as much.
Yeah.
You need a more freelance offense, which he can't be a part of because he's so much of a control freak on the basketball court, and he's a leader.
Yeah.
Legit leader. Yeah,
but with this team with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think the ball is not sticking. Yeah. Is not sticking in his hand that much. He gets it out, but when it comes to like crunch time, if he doesn't got it, then you know what he's gonna do. Chris Paul's gonna run that high screen and roll, and probably give you that little fadeaway.
And he's also playing with guys that have no problem with playing a full game.
Yep.
When the ball's not in their hand, they're not just standing weak side, not cutting, not screening. They're actually playing basketball. And that's all he really was asking for Houston to do. Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah. So the Thunder, man, they might shock some. They're gonna shock some folks in the postseason. So the way they play, I mean, Billy Dodd inviting Coach of the Year.
One of them. Do you think he should have been an All-Star this year?
Who?
Chris Paul?
He was.
No, do you think he should have?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the fence with that.
On the fence?
I think he's been a pro for so long, and he's respectful. He's a great professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you kind of get that when you've been around long enough and you don't ruffle many feathers.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, for what was out there in the West as far as point guards.
I was just saying numbers wise.
Oh yeah.
Because he's not in the top 10, and I don't think anything.
Yeah, I mean, 17, 6 assists. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This might be his lowest assist total in his career. So, but hey, they're winning. So, hey, as long as you're winning, that's all that matters. I mean, a team that won that surprised the heck out of me was the Cleveland Cavaliers coming back from 22 points and beating the Miami Heat. But there's a but. There was no Butler. So
Yeah, that's my butt right there.
But the Heat, I don't know how you give up a 22-point lead. And they were dominating too. It was, I don't know, they got so lackadaisical from the middle of the third quarter to the fourth. It was just like, okay.
They probably just wanted to hurry up and get back to Miami. I don't know who wants to go to Cleveland around this time of the year.
Man, nobody want to go to the Midwest at all. But I mean, but the Cavs, why they even trade for Drummond, as you said?
Yeah, because he didn't even do anything.
He was on the bench. Like in the fourth quarter, he was on the bench. He wasn't really. I mean,
I don't know, but you could have used him. Like, Drummond's a physical specimen. He is not no slouch. You put him in the right positions, he'll get you some 20 and 20 games.
Yeah, I guess this was one of those cases you ride the hot hand or something like that.
I mean, Kevin Porter had 30.
Yeah, he's
a young boy out there killing. I like him.
He's been some of these guys from the 2019 rookie draft. 2019 draft, they've been doing work. Kevin Porter has been finally getting some crucial minutes. Also, you know the guy I liked in the draft, Kobe White. He had he had another 30-point game last night, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably Ja Morant's gonna win Rookie of the Year, but Kobe White, he's just been actually having a good rookie season, just despite the fact that the Bulls none of the players like their coach, but. That's a whole different story. But the Bulls got so much talent. They have a point guard, they have a shooting guard, they have a wing. They got all the talent, and man.
That the guy that was telling people they got to clock in. I think we said our piece about that last year about him, and I don't know why he's still there.
Man, I think they gave him an extension. I think a lot of people are saying they're waiting to hear the reports of players actually fighting him because that's how much.
One thing I heard he's more like an old school coach. Yeah. So maybe they keep him around because they like his qualities and all that. And maybe this generation needs to be around more old school guys.
Maybe so, but I just want to hear the headline. I just want the report to come out when they actually fight, when a mutiny happens and they fight the coach, because that'll make my NBA season.
And it'll happen one day. They're all grown men. People forget this. This ain't college.
Yeah, it is true. That's what John Beeline said. I'm out of here.
For real. And I didn't even know he was in the league.
Yeah. All right, some NFL news. So the NFL has proposed something for their players in the new CBA. So they sent a new CBA to the union for a vote, and one of those. So this came out today. One of those proposals to the CBA was for full membership for approval. The players are going to get more money, a little more share of the revenue. I think it'll be up to like 48.5%. You know, they're still bringing out some of the details, but you know, they get a little more of the TV share and all that. But there's still a 17-game proposal, the 17-game season that a lot of players are not fans of at all.
Nah, I mean, for one, a lot of these guys have been playing 16 games for a whole career. Now you want to add a game, and their off-season's already scheduled out. You know what I mean? Their vacation time and all that. So it's like, no. Or have less preseason games. I'm sure they wouldn't have an issue paying one extra game if you knock down 2 preseason games.
Yeah. And also, they were trying to change the playoff format so 7 teams from each conference can make it, but I think that's stupid too.
Did not see how the NFL was this year. You had like 4 powerhouse teams, a couple all right, and the rest were bums.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to watch all that.
Yeah, I don't think they should do anything with the postseason.
Especially this year, the NFL was bad.
Yeah, they need to leave it the way it is. But so I mean, their CBA, I believe it expires next year. So they were working on it now to avoid a potential lockout. But man, that 17-game season proposal, I'm sure the players are not gonna approve that. But you know, the things that they put in this agreement that they sent to the players union reps is they're trying to persuade them by giving them a little more of the sharings and stuff like that. So, and then that's the way they're trying to get them to agree to the 17-game season. But I mean, you can player safety number one.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Cam Newton, the Panthers. It's said that the Panthers they're most likely going to move forward with him to come back as their starting quarterback, only because they ain't got no other options pretty much, and he's on his last year. This is his last year of his contract. So basically it's one of those things, let's see what we still got with him. But my only concern with Cam is, are you fully healthy? Because, I mean, the year before your season ended with shoulder surgery, and then this year it was a foot surgery. So, like, are you fully healthy? Because he's also 30 years old, and will you make it through the season? That's my big concern with Cam right now. And if the Panthers are smart, they would get insurance at quarterback because they need it. Especially
for Cam this year, because you said this is his last year in his contract, a contract year. So it's like you have to kind of produce to show the NFL that you still have some juice left in you.
Yeah.
But kudos to Cam for, believing in his new coach. Because if I was him, I'd be out of there just because I couldn't risk my body any longer.
But we just got to wait and see, because I've heard stuff like this before, and then when the draft comes around, you get traded, because I'm sure if somebody offers them, one of those teams picking in the top 5 or something, I think the Panthers got like the number 7 pick, if one of those teams ahead of them offers something, so for the Panthers to move up, I'm sure they would. For Cam, I'm sure.
Yeah, this year just doesn't look good for Cam. Just a contract year. He's coming off injury. How well is he going to produce? Then who's going to want to pay him in the future? Get out of there right now.
Oh man, there's some fools that. All right, Valdez Perfect. He was reinstated by the league after his 12-game suspension, and he has said that he's going to try adjust his game to how the NFL is now. But my thing with this is, that's going to be pretty hard for him to do, because he's played a certain way his whole life and career, and it's kind of hard to just, switch it up and get out the habit. Because even if you do it, you adjust it for a little period of time, it's still, that instinct is still going to come back at one point during the season, and here we are again. But hopefully he can.
He's coming off like a new age Jack Tatum.
Bruh.
You see, you got that silver and black on.
Man.
And just some people are just dogs. Like, some people just Terminators on the field, and they're all worried about just putting you on the ground.
Yeah, and he's definitely one of those. You can just see it.
But one thing I will say about the NFL, though, they do get a little real nitpicky with the helmet on helmet, especially when the guy ducks.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you expect to tackle? But one thing about the NFL, I gotta understand, like, I don't know how long they'll be around. Because, I'm in the middle school system, and I asked the whole class, like, who watched the Super Bowl? Out of 4 classes, 5 kids watched it.
Yeah. It's because a lot of parents are now like just trying to get their kids out of football. Just
no, it's not even that. I'm in the cluster where a lot of Hispanic kids, they appreciate football.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a disrespect to them. And honestly, I agree with them, because they should call American football, not football. Everywhere in the world, not just but the U.S.
For those of you that don't know, every time he talks about this, he gets pretty heated every time he has to talk about this. So
it's disrespect when you got rugby and soccer was here before football, but all of a sudden you just completely changed the name. Like, come on, bro, stop. Worldly disrespect.
This is the clean censored version. Usually,
yeah, it is.
If he's at my house, it's a little more raw and uncut. So he's censoring himself for our audience. But yes, he.
So my thing is, though, so the NFL, they seem like they think they have so much leg room in the future. You guys really don't. You better figure this out.
Yeah. Another guy that need to figure it out, Greg Robinson. What is
my man?
Was he listening to some Rick Ross or some Meek Mill or something? Because this guy. So Greg Robinson, he was arrested and I guess he was caught with how much? Over
157 pounds.
157 pounds of marijuana. And from the story I read, he was actually going to have somebody drive it from California to New Orleans. So you just crossing state lines with marijuana, especially when you're going to drive through some states that it's not even legal yet. Like, what are you doing, guys?
He'd be better off if he's on the East Coast. Like, just because the world's a little different over here. But honestly, certain stuff you just cannot do. Crossing state lines, that's just unacceptable, man. You're a professional athlete, bro. Like, and you play in Cleveland. You gotta stick out. But one thing I noticed about the judge, though, and all that, he's allowed to travel still. He's allowed to travel to Louisiana, where his house is, Georgia, I think where his family's from, where he's from, in Ohio. Yeah. So I don't think they look at it like a traditional drug offense. Yeah. Compared to like other people who can't.
I mean, was he bringing it there to sell it to smoke it all himself, or?
I highly doubt that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
But you never know, though.
I know.
You never know.
Like, what are you doing?
My whole thing that I asked you for the show, though, was like, what do drug-sniffing dogs actually smell in regards to drugs? Yeah. Other than, the obvious marijuana. Yeah. So when that's completely legal in the world, are you going to have any use for drug-sniffing dogs anymore?
Yeah, because usually, a lot of the times when people get caught from the drug sniffing in the airport, it's always marijuana.
It's never anything else. So mean they can't smell anything else. Unless I'm wrong. Please, somebody call and tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. But but Robinson and another guy, Jaquan Tyreek Bray.
His Uber driver?
Nah. I think they were teammates. They were teammates in college, and I guess Bray, he played for the Colts. If they're convicted, they could be sentenced to up to 20 years in federal prison. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Like next time ship it UPS.
20 years.
Yeah.
For something that's probably gonna be legal worldwide in the next couple years.
Yeah, and legal throughout the state, throughout the country.
But you know what they're probably trying to do? They're just probably trying to get the rest. Like, get the rest of them cases they can get. Yeah. Before it's completely like, oh, we can't do nothing about it now.
Yeah. But come on, Greg Robinson, man, come on.
And he should have knew where he was at. You down south. Where was he going?
I believe he was going to New Orleans. Yeah, they were in Texas.
Oh man, bro, you down south, brother. They don't want to change certain things down there. You should know this. You're from there. Yeah,
get it together. So, Greg Robinson. Next time, ship it. You had a better chance not getting caught if you shipped it.
Crazy.
All right. NCAA. So Sabrina, I can't pronounce her last name. She made history the other night. She became the first NCAA Division I player, male or female, to record 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists. This is quite the accomplishment for her. And I believe she did this after she had given a speech at Kobe Bryant's funeral, a memorial service.
Excuse me. She probably did, man. Like she's been a killer since she was in college, and she's like the all-time leader in college triple doubles.
Yeah, and she gets triple doubles like every other day,
and it's like ridiculous how many triple doubles she got compared to the next guy.
Yeah, shoot, and I believe she did it against Stanford. She set the record against Stanford, and they killed Stanford. But this was the game. She recorded her 26th triple-double of the season. So, I mean...
Hold up. Of the season?
Yeah.
How many she got in her career?
No. Career. Whoa. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. 26 triple-double, career triple-double, in college. So...
I was about to say.
Yeah, if that was there just in the season, it's what how short college basketball is.
But the closest person to her is like, what, 6?
I think, yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Shoot. But yeah, congratulations to Sabrina. She did it. She channeled her inner Mamba. So good for her. And Oregon, those Lady Ducks, we might see them in the national championship game where they be playing.
Still got the best female player in college right now.
Yeah. So congratulations to her. So all right. And other NCAA, you can bring up the NCAA top 20, the top 25. Kansas took over. Yeah, like that too. Kansas took over. Kansas beat Baylor on Saturday, so they took over the number 1 spot. Gonzaga, they actually lost to, I forget who they lost, St. Mary's or something?
It was,
there were a lot of upsets on Saturday.
Yeah,
I forgot too. We should know this, but, I mean, whatever. There were a lot of upsets on Saturday, and then Dayton keeps on moving up. You know, shout out to Dayton. My cousin's on that squad, number 4 in the country. And Florida State. Did you see that dunk from Florida State?
I don't know.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. This dude on Florida State, he dunked on this dude on Jordan Norwa. It was pretty bad.
I've been seeing a lot of dunks.
It was pretty bad.
It's all right.
It was pretty bad. And we got 7 minutes, so we're going to keep this moving. So that's the top 25 poll. March Madness is coming up in a couple weeks. Next week is the last full week of regular season basketball. Then there's conference tournament, and then time to fill out them brackets. All right. Alex Ovechkin, he became the second youngest player to reach 700 goals. Big accomplishment for him. Ovechkin, I think he joined Wayne Gretzky, and the last name's Huell or something like that, the other guy's last name. So it's a big milestone for him. So just more adding to his Hall of Fame career and all that. So, you know, congratulations to him. All right. Let's go to NBA top plays before we talk about the fight. We're going to go to, top plays, NBA top 10. All right, quickly. You know, I'm doing this. I'm just flipping out this rundown, so just so we could talk about the fight before we wrap up the show. So quickly, here's some highlights from Lin English men's basketball win Monday night against Lynn Classical in the first round of the MIA State Tournament. English is playing Lawrence this Friday at 7 p.m. So check this out, and then we're gonna come back, wrap it up with the Wilder Fury fight. All right, we are back. All right, so let's just get it before we get up out of here. Let's talk about this fight that ended in a 7th round TKO when, throw the damn toe. Throw the toe. All I thought about was Rocky. Throw the toe. But did you hear Wilder's excuse?
I mean, yeah.
Who told him to come out like that?
For one, like I ain't gonna lie, I love his wink and his ring entrance attire. That's something that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
But bro, like nobody told you come out here looking all medieval.
I know, right? Like this ain't 300
and all that. Like you should just wore the mask. The mask would have been good enough for me.
Yeah. But I mean, for Fury showed that he showed he was an attacker. He was an aggressive one. What people say about Wilder is he's not
skilled.
He's not a skilled boxer. He's like,
obvious.
Yeah, he gets you with that right hand, bye. And what Fury was doing, somebody was saying he was making Wilder back up a lot. He was on the attack. He made Wilder move, made him uncomfortable.
I watch, the little shows they have upcoming to the fight, and Tyson said he's going to reinvent himself. He put on an extra 30, 40 pounds, and he came at him because he said, and a lot of guys were saying don't do that, and he's like, why not? The way I fought before, it didn't work. Yeah. There's a chance I might not win because he didn't win. He had a draw, so he told him he's bringing the fight to him. Yeah. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's what he did. He did a lot of he basically did a lot of research, a lot of homework on this fight, and hey, he came out with the victory, but now there might be a chance that they go again for a third time, and you had a conspiracy.
Oh yeah, not me personally. I had a couple insiders that say like there was an automatic clause in their contract saying if you lose, you get an automatic rematch. Who's gonna watch a third Wilder Fury fight if Tyson doesn't win? So some feel that he might have thrown this, and you hear his excuse. It's kind of tough not to say that. Yeah. But with that being said, though, one thing I will tell you, Tyson Fury is a all-around skilled boxer, and what's his name is just big and strong.
And we gotta go. That was just Pedro yelling at us that we gotta go. And Lin English, Lady Bulldogs are playing tonight at 7 p.m. in their opening round of the state tournament. So make sure you go out there. We will see you guys next week. And next week's my birthday.
We play Masco.
My birthday's next week. A birthday episode. I'll be in here with.